Basically, I did not have any formal education in the field of theatre, but you know, we wanted to start the library in 1998, and that time actually I came in touch with Dr. Gangesh Devi, who is a very famous linguistic, and Mahashweta Devi. She is a very famous, renowned literary personality in the country, in India. Her name is Mahashweta Devi. So they both came to Charanagar and they wanted to help us. And we said that if you want to help us, we don't want houses, we don't want anything else, we don't want money, we don't want any kind of support. We just want books. If you can give us book, if you can give us library, then that could be a energy center, creative energy, literary and creative center for the rest of the community. And they gave us a very good library. It was a small library with around 400, 500 books in the library, and there actually we used to meet to each other. And meanwhile, sorry, there was a brutal killing happened in the West Bengal, and the person was Budhan Sabar. Sabar is tribe actually in West Bengal, like Chharas in Ahmedabad, and the person was brutally killed. So the case was filed in Kolkata High Court, and the judgment actually appeared in a small magazine. That magazine traveled from West Bengal, from east to west to Gujarat. So we are both in extreme part of in India. So I read it, and I made I decided to do a play, and wanted to do some serious theater, some meaningful theater actually, because before that we used to do theater in the community for a long time. Before that we did a very good plays on illiteracy, on brewing liquor, illicit liquor, on health issues, such kind of issues. We used to do a street theater in the community. But when I read this judgment, I decided to do a play, and from there my journey started there. In 1992, there was a play called Julus, Zulus, Zulus.
Yeah.
And Zulus means procession. And in that play, Zulus was like the procession to demand the rights, the fundamental, the basic rights from the government. So in 1992, when I was in 12th standard, I did this play under the direction of Mr. Prem Prakash. Prem Prakash is a very known theatre director in Ahmedabad. So he was doing this play, and he casted me actually for the very important role. So that was my little bit training actually. Although we never completed that play, we never performed, but we just rehearsed that play. And during the rehearsals, I learned that how to do street theater, how to do poor theater, how to do theater without any resources, how to do theater without any props, how to do theater without any costume, with your body, with your body and with your voice. If you have your body and if you have your voice, then you can easily communicate without having any kind of extra layers on your body or on your face. So how you communicate with your body and voice, that I learned when I was 12th standard in 1992. And in 1998 this happened, so I used my whole that learning into preparing the play Budhan, and eventually that was so successful. That became a so successful play. If you want to understand the theater, so rather than you focus on the output, you have to follow the process of the theater. And for me, preparing the play, the process of the theater is much more important rather than output. Because output is okay, fine. Whatever you are doing, there will be a definitely output, negative or positive, or people like it or people don't like it. That's it. But the process makes an actor. I, in my whole life, like in my 18 years experience, I found two things in the field of theatre which is most important, and I want that every person should do theatre. And these two things are: a, while being in the process of theatre, the actors become a more sensible person, the more sensible human being towards very very important issues of the particular region. A, and B, because he becomes sensible, the automatic leadership qualities actually get developed in the actors. Now I am not talking about the professional actors who get money and who just take who just get money actually out of the performances. I am talking about the community actors, where the meaningful theater should be there, and if they are doing consistently the theater practice in the community, you can get the good human being from the theater. Now, in the case of Chharas, I think this happened very, very effectively, because this is the output of whatever we have been doing since 18 years. Now we got a very good community leaders. Now they are negotiating with the government for the our fundamental rights. Now before starting the theater, there was no one, nobody was there actually to talk about that. So now what we have decided, because of the theater, now we know what we want, and now the actors who become a leader, now they are actually talking with the NGOs, with the government agencies, with the semi-government agencies. These are our right, and you should give us this our right. So I think this is more important actually to me, the theater. And this happened. Uh, we did more, like I trained more than, I think, more than 200 actors in the community, and every actor become a very good leader, and they are doing a successful work actually wherever they are, very, very successfully. I, I always dreamt to be a maker films actually, and I have been making films since I was 18, 19 year old, and I'm 42-year-old. So I I always wanted, and when I directed my first film actually in 2003, and that was on the nomadic communities, on the snake charmers issue actually.
Yeah.
So the snake charmers, now they cannot actually do a snake shows on the stage because of the law, Animal Cruelty Act. So that was my first independent directed film, and that got award in South Asia Award. So then I started to do theater, because I found that there are so much to say about India's nomadic and denotified tribes through films, because theater has a limitation. It has a certain audience, and actors also have a certain limitations, because they cannot go every time everywhere. I found that film can go in the form of like online portal or whatever.
Yeah.
So I started my filmmaking because of that reason, and I think I made more than 22 documentary films on the nomadic and denotified tribes issues, and that became that received very warm response and initiated a dialogue around nomadic and denotified tribes issues. So like snake charmers issues, language issues, political issues. Some are like police atrocities on that. So Birth 1871 was actually financed, like funded by University of Leeds, and William Gold, historian, Professor William Gold.
Yeah.
He did research, and I made the film. So Budhan Theatre is an integral part of that film. The film discusses, you know, the black history of the denotified tribes,
Yeah.
and the current the kind of stigma they are facing in a current time, and how the one small group is trying to come out from that stigma and conveying to the world that what sort of life we are doing, or what sort of life we are living through theater. I think in last 18 years we received Ford Foundation funding for just 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and rest of time actually whatever we have done. So our parent organization, Bhasha Research and Publication Center, that is based in Baroda district of Gujarat. So they have been supporting us, you know. But normally in Budhan Theatre we have a repertory, but it's not a paid repertory. We did we are doing theatre just for the commitment and for the social change. So we never expected any gain or any support actually for theatre, because we are not very good in writing the proposals. We do theatre on the field. We don't do theatre on the paper actually. so
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because you have to be very, very tricky when you are writing very the proposals, which I'm sorry, none of our member actually could do that. So we never tried to get the funding. But we are a practitioner. See, we are not writers to write the proposal. So just for 2 or 3 years we received the funding, and the rest of time we did theatre by own, from our own pocket money.
Right. Okay. And is that sustainable within the community to do that? Is it sustainable for your actors and your performers and for the rehearsal process? Or,
It is. It is. Because we jotted out the local resources of the community.
yeah.
Whenever we want some money, so the community always help us. So many people are part of Chharas.
Yeah.
Like there are, Brahmin also, there are
Yeah.
Muslims also actually in
Yeah.
the group. And we are very much focused on the denotified tribe issue. But it doesn't mean that we don't discuss the other social and political issues of the country. Like we did, the play, Dario Fo's play, Accidental Death of an Anarchist.
Yes.
So that play we did and raised the issues of the minorities, that how minority peoples are actually picked up by the police and how they were killed, and how they wrongly booked the case against them. So we discussed very largely actually. So, but we are primarily focused on the nomadic and denotified tribes, but we also discuss sometime actually these issues also. The Playback Theatre is basically started in Palestine, Israel, between, on the border of the Palestine and Israel, and the Ben River, who is an expert of doing a playback theatre. So he came to know about Budhan Theatre, and he did a workshop, 10 days workshop last year, and trained us in the playback theatre. It's a different form of theatre where the reconciliation process of the victims, war affected victims, so whatever, the people have an emotional hurt, so to the reconciliation process make it strong and very effective. For this purpose, actually, this form was created in Palestine, and from Palestine, this form traveled to India, and Bain River conducted 3 workshops in western part, in southern part, and in northern part. So now we are not expert in the playback theatre, but we know that what is playback theatre. So in this theatre form, actually, the actress knows the local issues where they are performing, and they first perform their own life stories. So whatever happened in their life, in actors' life, they perform one by one, and then they ask to the people that is there anything happen in your life which you want to perform, or you want us to perform. So they just narrate the incident happened with them, and the actors actually immediately perform that scene. So because of that, the catharsis come out. Emotional catharsis come out, and I think this is the reason that why playback theatre is needed in Palestine and Israel kind of war affected areas. day we did 35 shows, street shows, for the poor people. Actually, the people who are about to their houses, they're about to demolish by the government, and we did a protest actually for those people, and we did 35 shows in one day.
Wow.
And like we started a rally, the procession, big rally, and in that big rally, whenever the rally stopped, there we performed, and we started with the 200 people, and at the end where we wanted the end spot where we stopped, there were more than 5,000 people were there because of theater. So while they were watching, they were actually joining us in that rally, and the, that performance was for two things. A, because the poor people's houses were demolished by the government, because of their development scheme, and B, the government was supposed to actually build a big wall and cover the public lake. So the public lake was, it was almost impossible for the people, for the poor people, to see that lake actually, which was a public lake. So I think these two issues were there, and we did a play and we performed. So as I said that the rally we started, and where the end the rally, more than 4,000 5,000 people joined us, and we filed the case. Also, we also did a theater actually for the slum dwellers, and these slum dwellers, uh, uh, we did plays actually in front of the authorities, the highest authority of the district, at his house, at the gate of his house, to protest on the streets, in front of the government offices, in front of the collectorate offices. So we did lots of theater for the poor people, and we also filed the legal case also for them, and we won the case. So right now, we recently won the case for the 112 families in the Supreme Court of India, and now the government is supposed to give a land to those 112 affected families, and we will also build a small theater space there where these people can actually do a theater regularly. So because of theater, we also found the case. We also got the very good help from the mainstream society, from the lawyers, from the judges, from the civil society, and in that way, that theater helped to the society, to the victims, to the people who are oppressed. So it's not just a performance, but it's a movement. Budhan Theatre is not just a performance based, or a typical style of theatre, but Budhan Theatre is a movement for the poor people of this country, including nomadic and denotified tribes.